Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 17th of November. My name is Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Peer.
Gary, we got through.
We did. We got through.
High five.
High five. What an amazing weekend, Philip. Let's just launch straight into it.
This is the weekend, Gary, we had to have because if you think about it, this is the hump weekend of spring.
No humps here.
No,
it's all smooth.
It's the hump weekend. It was the hump weekend. This was the critical weekend that if we did not have a good clearance rate this weekend, this was going to choke the rest of spring by trying to get through the past ins.
It was a little bit of a concern because we had a very big offering.
Yep.
We knew some of them were a little thin on the ground.
25 auctions. Yeah.
We had 25 auctions. Put those graphs up right now because that's a 92% clearance rate, Phil, against an industry average of
70%. Gary, let's get those towers down now. Interesting viewers.
23 out of 25.
Interesting viewers. We have a sales meeting every Monday morning, and every Monday morning we talk about what the weekend's going to be like, what our auctions of the weekend.
That's right.
And if we'd done a bit of a look around in the sales meeting, we'd had Alex filming the sales meeting on Monday.
There was a few.
I reckon we were kind of looking at 15 out of 25.
Yeah, I thought maybe we could get 20 at best. 23 was enormous, and congratulations to all those vendors and all those buyers who have purchased and are out of the market. They're out of a lot of pain, aren't they? Looking around and talking to real estate agents, Phil.
Gary, all I can say to you is that this is now we've put the foot on the accelerator down for the rest of spring. Before you know it, it will be the third weekend of spring and the third weekend of December, I mean. And once that one's passed, we're on holidays. We're out of here, Gary. It's sun, sand and surf is beckoning.
All you're going to see is smoke, aren't you, Phil, from how fast we're running off. But what I do want to talk about is just the market in general. What was the intensity like? What was the number of bidders per auction? And how hot was it out there?
Is that a question for me, or are you posing that for the viewers?
No,
okay, Gary. Well, let's just...
the viewers aren't going to answer, are they?
Let's just have a bit of a snapshot around the country. Viewers, if you look to Sydney, Sydney is struggling a little bit, 59%. Having said that, viewers, because the journalist will beat that up into...
That was the Sydney market, just dropped.
That's not true at all. The journalists will beat up a 59% clearance rate as though Sydney's struggling. Interesting, in the eastern suburbs, which is pretty much the wealth belt of Sydney, it was at 77% clearance rate.
They've got their Prime Minister living there now, so they all want to be around him,
absolutely. Don't they? Wentworth Street in Point Piper is where the good Prime Minister lives, in a lovely, lovely house. And I've got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, viewers,
don't get political.
No,
there are people watching this that love Bill Shorten, love Tony Abbott, passionate Green supporters. We've got everything.
I'm not going to declare my voting allegiances. One thing I will say is it's great that this country finally has a Prime Minister that both sides of the political spectrum seem to be getting behind him.
They like him.
Malcolm Turnbull, we know you watch this show. We know you tune in every Tuesday
would not miss it for anything,
with your lovely wife over a cup of tea, looking at the Sydney Harbour Bridge as we speak.
It's somewhat of a weekly aphrodisiac.
But he tunes in because he likes to keep his finger on the pulse. And Malcolm, this is your opportunity to lead this country. Please don't stuff it up.
Don't let us down and be good for real estate.
Correct.
So
my phone could be him on the phone at the moment. It's not. I'll just flick that person's voicemail.
He's responded quickly. It hasn't even gone to air and he's ringing you already.
Gary, let's have a look around the market. What did we do that was exciting? I know that I did a number of exciting auctions.
We're not going to review too many of them, Phil, because we reviewed 25B all day. And by the way, before we get into that, just congratulations. And I should say it was just our pleasure to congratulate and welcome everyone to our James Bond movie, Philip, while you're sipping your tea there. It was a wonderful showing. There were people that stopped me and they said, why don't you ask? Well, watch the show. Because there were some people that were upset that they didn't get invited, but it was a
GPTV viewers
exclusive.
And GPTV viewers, you'll be interested to know that the the cinema that we held it in holds 270 people. We packed that out twice.
That's right,
so 540 of our lovely viewers came along and watched that show.
Along.
I must say though, I got a bit annoyed with people coming up and saying to me, Daniel, have you seen where Philip is?
Daniel? Daniel who?
People were coming up to me saying, Daniel, have you seen where Philip is?
Daniel Cray. Is that what you think you're Daniel Cray?
Well, there can be no other explanation for it, Gary. I must say, I kept saying, no, I think you're mistaking me for Daniel Craig. It's actually, I'm Philip.
The funniest thing that happened at the movie, I haven't told you this yet, but I'm standing there ushering some people and there's this guy wanted to get to a seat and he's pushed me out of the way. Excuse me, can you move? He got really angry with me. I thought, okay.
Some of our GPTV viewers are a bit pushy.
They are. They got a bit bit fiery there. Anyway, of course, he's realised within about 5 minutes that I'm one of the hosts, and he's tapped me on the shoulder. Oh, I'm sorry about that, mate. I said, yeah, I thought maybe it was okay. Anyway, all good. Let's talk about the results, Philip, because we start off with one great result.
Just quickly go through it, Gary, because this has gone overtime already.
Alfada Street was a very fiery auction, Philip. Sold for $9.41. That's a whole lot more than what we expected there. Leo Samuel did that auction at fired away. Philip, Virginia Court, we thought it would be somewhere between 900 and $1 million. We talked about that. The reserve was just a little over that, which probably would have been adjusted into the range, I'm sure. But that sold for $1,141,000.
Hello, Virginia Court. That's a great street and a great street of classic 50s and 60s houses.
It's sold to somebody that we've done a lot of business with, Philip. And the underbidder was also someone we've done a lot of business with. Tennyson Avenue, that was probably your feature auction on Saturday, Philip.
Gary, interesting result there. We sold that for $1,250,000.
We did. Got it to the dollar.
And that was sold 18 months ago for $1,080,000.
Now, when you talk about the market and medians, because they're misleading medians, but that is a real tale of where the market's at, isn't it? Because you've gone up, what, 10%? In 18 months, not spending anything, just about almost exactly 10%. So that's an interesting one for people to be aware of, isn't it, Philip?
Thank you for sharing that with the viewers,
In fact, it might be more than 10%, I think, from $1,080,000.
No doubt. Somebody's getting out their calculator, Ashley, at the moment.
I reckon it's about 14 or 15%. Ashley, you'll tell me, no doubt. You'll email me through. Philip, a property that went off in a big way on Saturday morning was that beautiful
Off like a bucket of prawns in the sun, Gary.
It did, Phil. 659 Inkerman Road. The price is undisclosed, but that was an interesting auction there in the beautiful back garden of that
fabulous
home.
house, Gary. Shout out to the buyers who bought that. They were overseas at the time, all on the phone. Thank goodness for the mobile phone. One thing I want to point out to the viewers, because we were speaking about this beforehand, I just want a quick shot up on screen if we've got one of the bamboo there.
Yes.
Because viewers, if you're looking to screen a neighbouring building, you can get bamboo to grow very quickly. You can get it in these tubs so it doesn't spread.
Yes.
And I've got to tell you, in Inkerman Road, it just looked absolutely fantastic and is a great screener and grows very quickly.
It does indeed, Philip. We were quoting in excess of 2.5, so no doubt it sold for that, but undisclosed price.
No doubt, you know it did.
Well, I know it did, but you know we can't talk about the price.
Well, you don't have to say I mean, you can just clearly say it sold, not no doubt it sold.
There is no doubt that it sold above it.
No, you can just say
people think it sold for less.
You can just say it sold for more than $2.5 million, of which there is no doubt. No, but you sometimes wrap up your descriptions in the most absurd language.
I'm going to talk about a property that didn't sell right here, Phil, because this is the value buy of the week. Now, this is an apartment in Alma Road. Now, check this out. Apartment 3 at 227 Alma Road. Now, there's been a sale in that block recently for in excess of $700,000 of the same. I understand to be the same size, Philip. This is for sale right now at $619,000.
Sounds like
extraordinarily good buy. Probably won't be there by the time it goes to air because it's that hot. If you want a hot property investment, a 3-bedroom with 2 balconies, parking in a block of I think only 5 or 6. This is an unbelievable opportunity. So get down there, buy of the week. 3 at 227 Alma Road. Snap it quick. 1 Acacia Street, Phil. Well, we've sold it, and it is not undisclosed. The buyer is undisclosed, but it is not undisclosed.
Now, the buyer is undisclosed. I can't talk about it.
They can't, and we don't want you to. But it is
bit of a story there.
It's not. Okay. No, just leave it alone.
All right, I'm not going to touch it.
No, you're not touching it.
Too hot to touch that story, isn't it, viewers?
1 Acacia Street, Philip. The price is not undisclosed, Philip. We thought it might be somewhere around up to that 1.4. The first bid was 1.4. It just took off like a rocket.
Viewers, can I ask you if you've got 90 seconds spare to go onto the video tour that Jeremy Rosens did on this proproperty, because it's probably the best video tour I've ever seen.
We did spook it last week.
Yeah, no, but just getting a special shout out to the vendor there, who is the most beautiful vendor. In fact, I think she gets the most beautiful vendor of the year award.
That's a tough competition. We've had a few spunky vendors.
It is, Gary, but special shout out to her because she just got screen presence and the camera just loved her.
It did. Philip,
unlike the camera with our face.
Exactly right. But Phil, not only the camera loved her, but the buyers loved her home. Their home.
I'm going to interrupt that, Gary, because speaking of the camera loving things... You talk about
how this goes for too long.
No, because this is relevant, Gary. Because we're just talking about beautiful...
You're going to say something stupid.
No, this is serious. We've just been talking about beautiful vendors and what the camera loves.
Yes,
well, Gary, the camera is in love with the house that we're in at the moment.
But we're not reviewing it, and don't get
I'm going to do it now.
No, you're not.
This house is nothing short, viewers, of unbelievable.
Go on.
We are in Briggs Street, Gary, at number 52 Briggs Street. A special shout out to the vendors who both, interestingly, have a design and artistic background.
When you come here and see it, you're not surprised because it is
this
every
house
bit
is
magnificent.
the most. I think it's probably the best renovated house of its type I have ever seen.
Take us through it, Philip.
Special shout out to one half of the vendor, who is a builder and a damn fine builder, if I don't mind saying.
You don't
because
mind saying.
he has renovated this house from the front fence to the back fence and everything in between.
To perfection.
Yeah, he's done it under architectural supervision, but a lot of the ideas are his.
Very stylish.
If you are looking for the most magnificent 3 or 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2.5 bathroom family home, that comes complete, Gary, with not only an indoor cinema, but an outdoor cinema. So Moonlight Cinemas, eat your heart out because it's happening here in Brigg Street. In fact, you know, the new cinema at Lido, Gary, in Hawthorn has opened on the rooftop, but I reckon the cinema outdoor here rivals that. This house is stunning.
Well, I get to auction it, not you. Bad
Really?
luck.
How'd you get that?
Too bad. Because they obviously got their choice of auctioneer. They weren't bullied into you, Philip. So they got to choose me, and I'm going to be doing this auction, and I cannot wait. It's going to be on the 28th of November at 1:30 p.m, Philip. We are looking forward to bringing this one to the market.
Brilliant
Call
home.
Adam Joss if you want to see through it, or have a look at it on the web. You'll see all the images and all of Adam's fine work.
All right, Gary, let's get back to work now. Where were we up to?
You distracted me. We were up to Acacia Street, Philip. Sold for $1,625,000.
Wow,
Went
big
off
result.
like a rocket.
Deserved to
Four
get a great
buyers.
price.
4 buyers very, very strongly interested in it. Phil, while I was there, you were up the road in Elsternwick in Park Street.
Yes.
We're loving Elsternwick and we're killing it there.
Gary, we had a quote range there of $900 to $1 million, and I think we sold it for $1,136,000.
You got it.
Bang
Well
on the
done.
number.
I'm impressed.
That was just a really good little house. That was interestingly bought by some investors.
Yes.
So if you're watching this and looking for somewhere to rent, so that's going to come back on our rent roll very shortly.
Exactly, a good opportunity too. Philip, we rounded out the weekend in Mitchell Road amongst many auctions that we can't talk about all of them, but that was a good one. I did see you in auction. It did sell for $1,970,000, which is the upper end of our range.
Gary, interesting to note that one had also been sold 2 years ago and did sell for considerably more than what we sold it for 2 years more. Yeah.
Now or then?
No, we sold it for considerably more on Sunday than it did 2 years ago, Gary.
What do you think in percentage terms? Any thoughts?
No, not going out. I'm not leading with that. All I can say is very rare, you know, in real estate terms, to buy a property, sell it 2 years later and get your money back. But that one did. And shout out to the vendors there who presented it beautifully.
So we are in a market that I think has stopped going up, but
balanced
it's still
market
strong
now, Gary.
It's more in balance.
Absolutely.
But things are still selling.
Well, look, once again, just a little boast again. The industry average 70%, which we call a balanced market. We've always said, viewers, let's get our feet back on the ground. 65 to 70% is a balanced market.
Yes.
But we did smash it with
I wonder what you're going to say then.
We did smash it with 92%.
Yes.
So a special shout out to our entire team who really came through on the weekend.
Congratulations to you all. Philip, this weekend we've got 16 auctions.
Let's rip through
over
it, Gary.
8 suburbs. You just enjoy a cup of tea while I do all the work here.
Chamomile and spearmint. I do that, Gary, after 2 double espressos this morning.
That's fascinating, Phil. Can we talk about
a little bit about me with the viewers? Fascinating that I am.
The offerings this weekend.
Okay,
they're more fascinating.
All right.
Let's start off this week, Philip. On Thursday, we start off with a commercial auction in Hawthorn Road.
Simon Radolnik is auctioning this 2-storey shop in the Einsteins precinct, 261 Hawthorn Road. What a great investment! You know, if you think about what we're selling apartments in this area for now, you can actually buy yourself a shop, get yourself a tenant. Growth for the future there. I love those shops. Those in your portfolio are magnificent.
You don't have to be Einstein to work out that one's been a good
idea.
idea.
No, Gary, ha 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 ha! You're so funny.
Champagne comedy, it just keeps rolling out. Phil, we start off on the weekend.
Clearly,
on
it's
Saturday.
the end of the year, and you're suffering spring fatigue.
Philip, Saturday, 10:30 a.m. We're going to be in Duke Street, so we could have a bit of a fight. Put up your Dukes and bid for this one, Phil.
It's getting worse. Absolutely, you're so in need of holiday. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 car space. Duke Street, great little location down there off Kooyong Road. Or near Kooyong Road and North Road. You could walk to the beach from there if you've got a good pair of runners.
You've often been described as a bit of a professional dance floor, Twinkle Toes Kingston.
Do you know I'm known to cut a move?
You got a few moves out there. I've seen them over the years, Phil, from when we were teenagers right through to now. But Phil, there is one dancer out there that's definitely better than you, and that is our professional dancer. I think her name's Jess Raffer. I think her name is, and she's selling her property in Daly Street, Elwood, at 11:30 a.m. Take us through this one, Twinkle Toes.
Well, Gary, no doubt if I'm doing the auction, which I'm not sure that I am, but if I was doing the auction, I would just spin her around, twirl her, then flick her around my shoulders and back onto the dance floor in one smooth move.
Yes.
But it would be a smooth move, Gary, to buy this property, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 2 car spaces in a really good-looking building. And of course, Daly Street in Elwood is a fantastic
wonderful
location.
bayside location, and Jeremy Rosens gets the auction honours there, Twinkle Toes. Let's move on though to Elsternwick, because you're going to be there on Saturday morning at 11:30 auctioning this fine apartment in Park Street.
Back in Elsternwick, we love it, and we love this building, Ira, on the corner of Park and Glen Ira Road, and has a French cafe in this building, Gary, downstairs.
Every building should have a French cafe.
So you can just, instead of making breakfast in the morning, you can just do what the French do and walk downstairs and have a croissant and an espresso.
Well, at the moment they're not doing that, they're running and hiding.
Shout out to those Parisians who, it's just a tragic world event, but we're not going to bring down the vibe of this show, Gary, by bringing in international politics.
Well, you brought in international city.
2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1 basement car space, and that is a brilliant building, and I think that's our last one left there, Gary.
Just about done there, Phil. I'm going to be at 11:30 auctioning in Eve, which is this magnificent building with Leighton Hewitt, I think, used to have the penthouse.
I think he still does, Gary. I'm not quite sure.
He may. This one goes
Him
up at
and
11:30.
Beck.
This one goes up at 11:30. Lovely Beck. You're on first name terms with her too, aren't you?
I am.
As far as you're concerned. Phil, this one goes up at 11:30. This is an incredible building, this high rise. It's a fantastic 1 bedroom. It's like a luxury suite in a hotel, this one. It's in a fantastic building, Philip, with great amenities. You've got these communal meeting areas, you've got the swimming pool.
Gary, probably one of the best indoor swimming pools and one of the best gyms that I think I've ever seen. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 security basement car park.
Somewhere around 450 buys that, Phil, I think.
I've got to tell you, if you wanted a city pad that had the best of Albert Park, Paran and the city and St Kilda thrown into one, Eve's the building for you.
Start off our Bentley account at 11:30. Leo Samuel's there. You're going to be following him shortly after. But he's first in Whitmuir Road in Bentley. That's a great address.
Whitmuir.
And this is a very affordable apartment.
Gary, 2 bedrooms.
350 to
1 bedroom,
380.
1 car space, polished timber floorboards throughout. It's a beauty. I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, you can like Bentley because you're going to be there yourself, Philip, at 12:30 auctioning your second property, and that's it for Saturday.
Really?
For you, yeah.
Oh, that's a cruisy day, isn't
take
it?
the rest of the day off. Phil, this
that's
one
hardly
goes off
likely going to happen, Gary.
This is 12:30, Philip. It's 20 St James Avenue. Terrific period home. Talk to us about this, please.
Gary, picture postcard, perfect facade. I'm loving this house.
Nikki
I'm loving
Janover
the floor
and Max have been handling
4 brilliant bedrooms, 2.5 magic bathrooms, plenty of car parking, and check out that kitchen. It is stunning.
Shepperson Avenue, Carnegie is a great address. We round out our Saturday at 2:30. Leo Samuel auctions this one with young Daniel Buston. What can you tell us about it?
Well, I can tell you a lot about young Daniel Buston. He's rejoined us and he's kicking goals. He's doing so brilliantly
He's
well.
not the only person to rejoin us either, by the
Daniel
way.
Rees is back.
Yeah, Daniel Rees. Let's get a photo of Daniel Rees.
Daniel Rees with that big, beautiful, happy smile. And he's smiling because he's back.
Welcome back, Rees.
2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, Gary. A lot of amenity in that property. It's a ripper.
That brings Saturday to a close, Phil. We start off on Sunday with double action auction at 10:30. I'm going to be at this wonderful apartment with Rafi Joffe in Kooyong Road.
Gary, love that position, love that building. It's
Me
a really
too.
good looking building. You can walk up the road to High Street, Armadale or Glenferrie Road, or down the road to Carlisle Street. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and a basement car park. That is as good a building as you'll see anywhere.
Now, I'm a lover of Webb Street. What about you?
You are a lover of Webb Street, Gary. I
address.
love Webb Street too. We've had tremendous success in
We
Webb
have,
Street.
just about 2
We've
miles
sold
straight over.
3 houses there in the last 3 months.
Yeah, we've been
no,
very busy
4
there.
4 houses in the last 3 months.
Yep.
Got to
It's
tell
been
you,
very busy there.
people probably don't know about that major freeway coming through.
that's
They're
right.
rerouting Dandenong Road.
The people are selling though.
Connecting Dandenong Road through to the Nepean Highway
right.
there,
The link,
Gary, and it actually
right through
goes right through. And of course, the new City Loop interchange.
Yes, exactly right. And the reservoir,
that's
and
right.
the storage plant.
All going
all of those
through
things
Webb
happening at Webb Street.
Now, of course, if there is a lawyer watching the show, it's just an attempt at humour.
Yes,
That's not really happening.
And
That
not a
was
good one.
just a joke.
37 Webb Street.
I've got to tell you, Gary, lawyers have destroyed the world, really.
They don't know how to have fun,
we
do they?
used to be able to say all sorts of terrible rubbish
stupid things.
and not have to add a
Exactly
disclaimer.
right.
Now, everything we say has virtually got to have, this is neither a warranty nor guarantee.
Yes.
Seek independent legal advice before taking any instruction
That's
or
right.
any information from this show seriously.
It was an effort, an attempt of jocularity, and we're sorry about
Jocularity?
that. That's it. That's how they call it, the lawyers.
What-
Learned friends.
What's jocularity as a Scrabble Scrabble word. That'd be
get that on the triple. You get a big score.
Brilliant.
There, although I think too many letters to make. You'd have to have a word there to build it around. Philip, 37 Web Street's right down the end of the street.
Jocularity.
Yeah.
No,
okay, let's just move on, Philip.
Anyway, Webb Street. I love the address. This is at the end of Webb Street. A brilliant home. 4 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, double lock-up garage. I'm loving that house, Gary.
You're a busy man on Sunday, Phil. You've got 6 auctions. Your second one's going to be in Ormond Road, Elwood. I know you love it there.
I do.
Don't tell me that you don't.
Many of my favourite cafes are in Ormond Road. Special shout out to the Milton Wine Bar.
You love that place, don't you?
Oh, Gary, a sexy
you like to
place.
hang around wine bars,
sexy
don't
place.
you?
Well, I do like wine bars. I kind of like the romance, and this has got a very romantic feel. It's a sexy space, the Milton.
A romantic
and you
wine
can
bar dweller.
Buy this property and then just ring up a friend, whatever, whether it's male or female, and say, why don't I meet you for a drink at the Milton? Then I reckon if that goes well, just bring them across the road to your apartment, apartment 12
Devious
at 125 Ormond Road, Elwood, a stunning apartment, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms and 2 secure basement car parks. And it's got a study which we were going to advertise as a 3rd bedroom but chose not to.
Phil, I'm staying away from the wine bars. I'm just going to be in a nice dry area. They call it Inkerman Road, Philip.
Yes.
And I'm going to be at apartment 8 at 647 Inkerman Road, just up the road from Lenny's. So you go and have a drink and I'll just get my bagels, thanks.
Gary, this is the most brilliant building.
1230.
Because this is a great apartment, much larger than the average. It's 2 bedrooms but has a separate lounge room and a separate dining room, a lock-up garage. It's in original condition, which means somebody can come in and schmick it up, do something fabulous with it, and a brilliant location.
While I'm there, Phil, you're going to be at 39 Master Street in the heart of Caulfield. Take us through this home.
Gary, check out this house. Now, this is a very good livable home that could be further improved, or it's a great corner site in terms of a parcel of land. I think that is a fabulous opportunity to get into the market in a great location. That's, of course, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and parking.
And now we enter the juicy prestige time of the market, Philip.
Juicy prestige
where we
time.
have 2 incredibly juicy prestige offerings, Philip.
Yes,
Now,
silly.
Lemire Road.
Silly thing to talk about. Lemire Road is juicy.
Yeah, of course it's juicy. Real estate doesn't get any better than that. Philip, we're right in the heart of the Golden Mile, and this home has never been sold before. The owners built it themselves, have owned and lived there for many decades, Philip, and it now finds its way to the market.
Gary, if the viewers go onto our video tour, this has got an entrance foyer, an entrance lobby
Very
that
grand.
the Hyatt Hotel, the Grand Hyatt in East Melbourne,
Envious.
would kill to have
That's
this
right.
lobby. In fact, the Grand Hyatt should actually organise for all of their guests to check. They should buy this property, get them to check in at the lobby, and then Uber them to East Melbourne, because this is the most incredible property, 70 Lemire Road. This is built like a battleship in terms of the solidity of this property. It's all double brick and concrete slabs, and just imagine, Gary, transforming that property from a property that was built solidly in the 60s, 70s. Imagine giving that a 2015 makeover but keeping its integrity. That home is brilliant.
They don't build them like that anymore, do they?
No,
Phil?
they don't.
And what a great back garden, beautiful, spacious with a pool,
love it.
everything. So come to that one, we'll see you there. We're both going to be there. Joining forces, Philip, on Sunday at 1:30 p.m. At 2:30 p.m. we have this massive masterpiece in Balaclava Road, 74 Balaclava
Gary,
Road.
what
Also,
an incredible home.
It's been offered for a long
This
time.
was built by the owners for
Never been sold
themselves.
before.
It's been a generational family home.
Never been sold
5 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, all the car
How's
parking
the
you
land
could
here,
possibly ever want. Massive parcel of land.
How big is that
And
land?
check out the indoor, what will we call it, Gary? Will we call it a ballroom?
Yeah,
Will we call
ballroom.
it an entertainment
I just
centre?
call it a ballroom.
And if you notice there, that timber floorboard is a dance floor that covers the indoor swimming pool.
Oh, is that how it
that
works?
could be reactivated.
There's a pool underneath
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
incredible.
So if you
Absolutely
stomp hard
incredible.
enough, you could dance and swim at the same
I
time.
doubt that's going to happen, Gary.
Wow.
But what an incredible home. I love that house. It's a local icon, that one.
It is, and it goes up at 2:30. First time ever sold, Philip, much like Lemire Road. Never been offered before. We finish off, we are very lucky, blessed we are, Phil. We finish off on Sunday in another blessed position. This is Silverley Grove, Philip, just around the corner from Town Hall, number 7. Great land opportunity,
Gary,
terrific
814 square metres of prime Caulfield land with a 16.46 metre frontage. We've had a lot of developers look at this property. It is a beautiful home, and could be, renovated.
Is it a development? Is it a home? Is it a renovation?
Well, it could be all of those things, Gary. But the most important thing to call it
is yours.
Yeah,
Gary.
indeed,
Phil. We were on the same wavelength there, and that rounds out a like an action-packed edition. There's so much
Gary,
going on,
it
Phil.
was the
I'm
hump
salivating.
weekend that we're over. We're in the home straight to the end of the year. I'm loving this market, Gary. As balance is restored, I think it's a great time to be both a buyer and a seller.
Now, one of the things that came out of our sales meeting today, Adam,
yesterday, you mean?
I should say yesterday, big pardon. Adam has said
Adam Josky
to me that he's got a vendor who wants to sell this year.
Yes.
And he has got them on board.
Okay.
So you could still sell this year. There
Absolutely.
is a way. If you want to sell this year when it's not too late, but you've got to move real quick.
At the same time, Gary, we have now listed a lot of properties for February and March of next year.
And so through.
So for those well-organised GPT viewer vendors, now is the time to be talking to us about a 2016 campaign. Loving spring, loving this house, loving you, Gary. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye.